Hey there. I am making introductory videos for the theory classes that are going to happen this summer. So this one is what I'm calling intermediate level. We're going to cover all intervals, all types of intervals, chords, seventh chords, all keys around the circle of fifths, look at chord progressions, listen to modulations, a whole wide range of things. So this little introductory lesson will kind of let you know whether you think you're in the right place, whether this is your level, whether it's moving a little too fast. There's another class, if so. So you notice I've got 4 bass clefs. This is just a brief introduction to give you an idea of how I'm going to work in this class. And we are going to cover all of the B scales. So here's our little B. Let's start with B major. You may not have played B major yet, but you may be able to follow along with writing it out. The whole idea of me writing it out is that I'm giving you time for you also to write it out. The idea is that you're writing along with me as I'm explaining things. So for B major, I wrote from B to B, but you know this isn't right if you've played B major before. For B major, if we follow our major scale steps, then in order to make this a whole step, that's what the W refers to, I need a sharp. I'm going to use a different pen. And then for another whole step, if I'm going from C sharp, here it is conveniently, I need another sharp. And then from D sharp to E, there's our half step, so that's perfect. I don't need anything. But from E to F sharp, I need a whole step. From E to F, I need a whole step, so it needs to be F sharp, is what I'm trying to say. And then for those of you who've played it, realize it's a really comfortable scale to play because your thumbs are on the white keys and your other fingers are on the black keys. So we've got whole here. 2 more sharps. So let's say it together. B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B. Now, for those of you who've played the scale, may feel like, oh man, this is going so slow, I can already play the scale. But the whole point of the theory is that you're able to see it and figure it out without your hand on the keyboard. Well, I have this little guide so I can show you what you're looking at. But we're not playing, we're not listening. We're going to do listening in this class. But when you're in a theory context and you need to know it and hear it and see it just on the page, you've got to do a little bit of the writing and the figuring out process. Okay. So this is our first B, B major. Now, the great thing about B major is it's really easy to explain how to figure out the minor. I'm writing my steps again. So for the minor, if we want to follow the key signature, and that would be good for me to write here, right? So you know the sharps playing up the scale, but the sharps in the key signature are in a different order, and we're going to go over that. This is what your B major key signature looks like. You can line each one up. They're just not in the same order when you play it. Okay. So for the minor, for the natural minor, what we're going to do is we're going to take away 3 sharps. We're going to lower 3 of these keys. Now you may know right away that when you're playing the scale and you want to make it minor, it's this one that you lower. And I just erased the note, so I'll put it back in. Then the 5th note is still going to be the same, but the 6th note is also lower. So we don't put that sharp in. Now this one is a little tricky, right? So if you look at our key signature that goes with minor here, I'm going to move these 2 down. I'm going to put these back in because this goes with major. But remember, we took these 3 away so that we have the correct key signature for B minor, and we're left with 2 sharps. What you may realize is that sometimes you do play this A sharp when you're making it harmonic, but that is not in the key signature. Okay, so I'm going to erase that again, and I'm going to erase this. You'll know when you're playing it that it sounds like a different minor scale, but this is B natural minor. And I'll put this over here. Remember, we're in bass clef. We're in bass clef the whole time, so you practice bass clef. The A sharp goes with harmonic. Now, I said B scales, and I've got 4 lines here. What you need to remember is that you can write scales starting on B flat. You're saying B, but you're saying B flat, so it's a completely different ball game. This is going to be excellent practice for us to notice when we start on this B and we play this scale. If we start on B flat, then that simply means every single note is lower than what we wrote for B major. And that is just looking way too confusing. So I'll start over there. So I took B and I made it B flat. I'm going to take C sharp, and it's just going to be C natural. I'm going to take D sharp, and it's just going to be D natural because we're starting from a different note. Similarly, E now becomes E flat. F sharp is just F. G sharp is just G. A sharp is A natural. And B is B flat because our tonic has to match our tonic. I'm giving you a little bit of time to finish writing, noticing how each of the steps shifted down. And we're going to label this B flat major. It's still a major scale, but it's starting on a different B here. Okay, now I'm going to give you a moment to think. Notice what the difference between B major and B natural minor is. Which notes we changed. This one looks different. This one looks different. This one looks different. And see if you can make B flat major B flat minor. I'm just writing the steps. I know the last note's going to be the same as the first note. So then, if we lower the third note of the scale, this now has to be B flat. The fourth note didn't change, so this is still E flat. The fifth note didn't change, so F is still F in the new scale. The sixth note did change though. So G, the sharp became natural, the natural becomes flat. And then for the purposes of writing the natural minor scale, remember the seventh note also changed. So we're going to put an A flat here. So notice in this scale, you actually have two flats. The top note is also flat, but that's a repeat of the first note. So the key signature here is two flats, B flat and E flat. Now, how many flats do we have here? I know this is not a common scale. This is gonna be beyond probably what many of you have played. But if you count with me, we're not counting the last note because that's a repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flats. And the order for the key signature is this. That's all of our B's. So we went from 5 sharps to 2 sharps. And then we went from 2 flats for B flat major to 5 flats for B flat minor. That would probably require some review to go over some of these steps, right? But that's a quick introduction. Do you think you're ready for this level? All right. Ciao for now.